What's up everybody, this is the Act Man here, and today I am coming at you with a special news report on the Modern Warfare beta. With the final days of the beta having wrapped up, it's time I let you all know my thoughts on Modern Warfare as a whole, and this multiplayer. Of course, with every beta, we here at Actman Enterprises ask that you remember it is a beta, and that things are subject to change. This is not the final game or the final product. What changes, if any, does Infinity Ward plan to make based on fan feedback? Will Activision find some way to fuck up this year's Call of Duty, Hold on. I'm getting a report that yes, indeed, Activision has fucked with this game in an unrepairable way. In a shocking revelation, Activision has revealed that the Spec Ops Survival Mode, a long-awaited fan favorite that has not seen the light of day since the days of Modern Warfare 3 8 years ago, is going to be a PS4 exclusive mode for an entire year, leaving computer and Xbox players in the dark. It is beyond ironic that cross-play between consoles, player optimization, could be such focal points of this year's Call of Duty, more so than we've ever seen before, and yet Activision is still willing to completely disregard all of that and rip out a part of the game from Xbox and PC gamers. How this benefits anyone but Activision is up to your guess, but with all the fan outrage and cancelled pre-orders, you have to wonder if even they're getting anything out of this. My point is this, ladies and gentlemen, Modern Warfare 2019 is the best Call of Duty we've seen in years, might be the best Call of Duty ever, and yet Activision is still intent on trying to ruin this game with their greedy, bullshit, money-grubbing tactics. PS4 exclusivity is bullshit, benefits nobody. Moving on to more positive notes, with his thoughts on the multiplayer and gameplay, here is our very own correspondent, me. Thanks, Actman. It has been a wild and intense ride to say the least. Modern Warfare as a shooter feels far better and more different than any Call of Duty we've seen in the last few years. I'd say going as far back as Black Ops 2 or even Call of Duty Ghosts. Yes, is this the revolutionary new Call of Duty game with the exact same name that me and all the fans have been asking for? Only time will tell, but here is my analysis. One of my favorite parts of Modern Warfare so far is just how different it is, and I love adapting to the changes. First, I want to talk about the obvious change in feeling and style. Without a doubt, Infinity Ward has found their balls, and they are making Call of Duty the way they want to. After getting my hands on the 2v2 gunfight mode, I instantly knew that this beta was gonna kick ass. Or at least I knew I was gonna have a blast with it. Don't take this the wrong way, but Modern Warfare looks like it has taken some serious lessons from Battlefield. And I know that COD and Battlefield fans are like the Crips and Bloods and they'll never get along, but hear me out. There are things that Battlefield has always done better than COD, and that's changing with this game. Battlefield has always looked better than Call of Duty, in my opinion. This game looks just as good, if not better, than anything else on the market right now. The Battlefield series has always had better animations and a sense of scale. Modern Warfare's animations are straight butter, and now they offer a 10v10 mode and a 32v32. Battlefield has always carried an air of realism, while Call of Duty in recent years has looked more cartoony. Modern Warfare feels more realistic, weighty, and gritty. It's the perfect blend. Where the Titan in Black Ops 4 was basically a laser beam that could shoot down anything out of the sky, the light machine guns in Modern Warfare are bulky, hefty, badass. The M91 has this slight but noticeable delay between when you hold the trigger and when it starts firing, and then it just unloads hell. And the sound effects, man, they blow me away! The Model 680, holy smokes. God damn, that shotgun feels like it was handcrafted by Jesus himself. Just listen to that. The new engine is on full display. You can really see how much the animations and weapon designs have improved by watching this video that Infinity Ward made. Everything this guy says makes perfect sense to me. You can tell the love and passion he has for this game, and just how much thought and effort was put into something as simple as the reload animations.
Even the reload, I mean, you're next. And it turns it over and then just, it's so good.
Simply put, this is the best a Call of Duty game has ever looked, been animated, or sounded. And now we're gonna go to our correspondent, I Hate Everything. Alex, what can you tell us about the beta?
Thanks, Mactman. I am reporting here from what must be some kind of drug den to tell you how I feel about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. No, not that one. The new, cool one. I gotta say, I experienced the ultimate online playground. The stakes have never been higher. It's a raw, gritty, and provocative game that brings unrivaled intensity and shines a light on the changing nature of modern war. And if I'm being honest, the gameplay was visceral and dynamic and brought a level of unrivaled intensity not seen since... what was the last COD again? Infinite Black Operations or whatever. You know the one. My main takeaway was that it pushed boundaries, big time. It really made me feel like I was on a breathtaking covert operation every time I loaded into a new game. Really is the kind of thing that'll make you and your mates go, wow. Remember to pre-order the limited edition to receive a themed in-game emblem, calling card, and weapon charm. Do you take cash or check? Oh, cash please.
Thank you for that amazing report, Alex, and I really hope you do get that paycheck. And now, moving on to our next subject. Gunplay could very well be the best in the series as well. I didn't run into many issues with lag, latency, or bullshit deaths. And the beta was super stable, props for that. More stable than World War II and Black Ops 4 were at release. You always take it for granted that the menus are gonna work or that the game will be playable without crippling issues that linger for weeks and months. But it's 2019. So when a AAA project is developed by hundreds of seasoned programmers, they're given a multi-million-dollar budget and 3 solid years to finish it, when a game like that functions flawlessly, it's quite the surprise. When it comes to the weapons and sandbox, how each class of gun handles, it is everything I hoped and wanted. Versatility and viability. You can snipe, you can play close quarters. Every weapon seems to have its own defined role. Sniping with the AX-50 is pretty tough, but good lord, it's as satisfying as hitting shots with the intervention all over again. Yes, the mantling, climbing, sliding, reloading, and shooting, all aspects of handling the weapons, feels phenomenal. I don't remember the last time a Call of Duty game felt this good in the gunplay department. Yes, and with all the bonus features and ways you can customize your gameplay and controls, Modern Warfare is looking to be the most optimized Call of Duty game in franchise history. Yes, Infinity Ward has really outdone themselves here, Act-Man. Yes, it appears they have. I've had a hell of a time rocking the M4A1 in multiplayer. Which reminds me, Act-Man, what are your thoughts on the weapon customization and gunsmith? I can already tell that I'm going to be putting a ton of thought into my classes, optimizing my weapons, and considering the pros and cons of the attachments I take. Weapon perks have finally made a return after being on hiatus since Modern Warfare 3, and it is awesome. One of the coolest details of the gunsmith is how it shows all your weapons and equipment on the table, almost like you're in the armory setting aside everything you're going to take in a battle. And a very slight quality of life buff is actually being able to completely rotate the weapons and see them instead of that stupid ass Black Ops 4 thing where you can only shift it like 40 degrees. Everything here is just so sexy and sleek. I love how clear the stats are, and like this Reddit post shows from Are You Dizzy, it would be awesome if we had a tactical display of the stats as well. This mock-up looks amazing. A lot of the perks are brand new to Call of Duty, or at least old perks have been mixed together to create something new. Kill chain and restock are cool options that twist the rules a little bit. I think there's an interesting variety, but there's a core problem with the perks that we'll talk about later. Another new addition was field upgrades, which is basically another type of equipment that you can bring into battle. And these recharge over time. Stuff like deployable cover, ammunition for you and your team, or a recon drone. These things don't have a huge impact on the moment-to-moment gameplay like Black Ops 4's abilities, and I like it that way. You can do some pretty cool things with the deployable cover, but the ammunition box kind of makes Scavenger a superfluous perk. I am disappointed by the lack of weapons and no attachments for rocket launchers. Pro perks would have been nice, although this does give Overkill a lot of strength in the meta. In any case, there are so many different things to experiment with, and I can't wait to try them all at release. Of course, no Call of Duty game is complete without the streaks, oftentimes the deciding factor in just how addicting these games can be. Actman, what are your thoughts? The streaks in Modern Warfare are straight banging, but there's a huge flaw with a couple and they tie in with the minimap. These aren't your typical copy and pasted kill streaks from other games either. They've fundamentally changed how some old fan favorites function. As long as I can remember, the airstrike was always something you called in on the minimap, but now you actually have to scope it out on the ground. I love this. And to compensate, the airstrike is much deadlier. White phosphorus will add smoke effects to the landscape, and this time you have full control of the chopper gunner. Complete with missiles and thermal scopes, this thing is freaking awesome. You can really whoop some ass with the chopper gunner, assuming you don't get it on Azir Cave. I didn't get a chance to try out the new Harriers, the tank, emergency airdrop, or some of the others, but I'm sure they're just as fun. And now, our statistics manager 8thoughts will give his assessment of the beta overall.
Thanks, Actman. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1 MLG Call of Duty Elite Gaming Alpha Male Athlete. 8thoughts. Take that in, Actman. I'll bet you know what? I bet I don't break my arm trying to punch some boards. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Look at that right there. Reporting live from his living room, as you can see here right now, because Activision stopped paying me because I didn't have very many positive things to say about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Quite frankly, what I'm most looking forward to in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and the only thing that matters, is what is going to be known as the amazing supply drop pay-to-win guns that are inevitably going to be coming to the game, and I'm super duper cooper excited about that. I can't wait. I love it. If you guys don't have any credit basically left on your credit cards, make sure you try to get an increase before, I'd say 2020, because that's when the Modern Warfare microtransactions pay-to-win guns are going to be coming behind the supply drop system, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't care about the camping. I don't care about the horrible net code. I don't care about the shoot first, die first bullshit. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is that I'm looking forward to, and you all should be looking forward to, the microtransactions that are inevitably coming to this game that are going to be awesome, are going to be amazing. I can't wait to spend a ton of money and open a bunch of supply drops. Activision, please start paying me so I can afford to have a team again, so I can be the actual good reporter and buy my testosterone replacement therapy, because you know what? This right here, when you're 75 years old, ladies and gentlemen and kids out there, doesn't come cheap, okay? You can't maintain this with just a natural, healthy diet. So, back to you, Actman.
What an outstanding guy that 8thoughts talking shit from behind a camera screen. Yeah, fuck you, man. Fucking hypocrite. I didn't see you break 10 boards. Moving on. Unfortunately, the fans have been in an uproar over certain aspects of Modern Warfare, and the biggest criticism so far is the minimap, or lack thereof. Now, to play devil's advocate, I think having no standard minimap is a neat concept. In theory, this places more emphasis on a player's surroundings and less so on that square in the top left. I like that when enemies fire, there is no exact indicator of where they are on the minimap. It places less power on suppressors and doesn't hold your hand as much. I think this part of the Call of Duty formula has become a very over-reliant aspect of the games. I can also dig the importance placed on the compass, and how each area has a callout displayed. This makes your decisions more strategic, more thoughtful. They had it turned off for the first part of the beta and turned it back on for the later parts. I enjoyed both styles about equally. However, this brings up a crippling balancing issue, and it also points to how difficult and important it is to fine-tune a Call of Duty game and how hard it is to try new things. If you make the minimap only available while players have a UAV or personal radar up, then minimap coverage becomes much more valuable. So more people will use those kill streaks, and if more people use those kill streaks, then players are going to pick up perks and kill streaks that counteract that, which means more players are going to rock Ghost, making UAVs and personal radars less useful. This could very well create an unhealthy stale meta where Ghost is the go-to red perk. It goes to show how a simple change can be so powerful, and how it can send shockwaves across the community. And it also appears like they've made footsteps hella loud to compensate, which means players are likely to camp and wait for the sound of footsteps. Another thing fans are outraged about is the rumors of pay-to-win loot boxes and Infinity Ward's sneaky slithering ways of avoiding talking about it directly. Actman, what are your thoughts on this issue? Well, Actman, you're certainly right. When it comes to microtransactions, loot boxes, and weapons in those loot boxes, the Call of Duty fan base is very pissed off at those things. Now, I tried to get in touch with an Activision representative, but I was unable to. However, I did find a piece of dog shit which was equally as informative, and what this piece of dog shit told me was, we'll have to wait and see until the game actually launches. By that point, I do believe we will have some version of weapon-related unlocks in loot boxes, which does not spell anything good for the Call of Duty fanbase.
Now, in terms of map design, what do I think? I love it. These are the maps I have been asking for.
Got him.
It is a hard balance to strike between chaotic nonsense like Call of Duty Ghosts and dynamic fun like Modern Warfare 2. The most noticeable aspect is how Infinity Ward is making 3-lane maps interesting and fun. Yes, make no mistake, these are 3-lane maps, and you can play them that way. It's not that 3-lane maps are awful, it's that when that's all you have as a selection and there's no dynamic elements, that's when it gets boring. But there are so many ways to traverse these maps. There's height to them, you can climb around in all sorts of cool ways to flank the enemy. There's plenty of tricks you can pull, sprinting and jumping, and map knowledge is going to be essential for player success. I had an absolute blast discovering all these secret areas. Sometimes if you get killed from an area, you'll be like, oh, I didn't realize you could go up there. And that's the thing. We have been trained over these last few years to just accept the fact that you can't climb around on anything. I've gotten so many kills by simply outmaneuvering my opponents and attacking in ways they didn't expect. Doors are a neat mechanic too. You can open them for some new sightlines or close them to give yourself some cover if you need to secure an objective. I did see some funky shit happen when I slid into an opening door though.
10 seconds, get ready. The hell is that going on?
Now, people saying the maps are too chaotic and there's too many ways to get shot from are just used to enemies coming out of the same 5 locations every match. You're used to a dumbed down version of what initially made this franchise popular. You can be good. You can predict the enemy's path. You can get high kill streaks. The game is not going to play itself for you anymore. You actually have to think. Sure, you might get fucked because there are so many openings in certain areas, and that's still part of learning the map. We got a taste of this in the beta, and I can't wait to see what else they bring to the table. I'll take this style of map design over the basic ass bullshit in Black Ops 4 any day. What's that? I'm getting reports that yes, in fact, we do have Zanny on the line. He is on scene right now. Zanny, what do you see?
Well, hello, ACT people. Welcome to Map Design with Zanny. The open beta's over, so if I'm gonna talk about Modern Warfare's map design, I'm gonna have to improvise. One of the maps, Warehouse or whatever it's called, you get shot off spawn, it's pretty great. To help you visualize, here's an artistic recreation. Let's do this! Your opponents are like covering every path out of your spawn, so you're just stuck there, forced to hide, like... In other words, I had fun with the beta. I mean, it's Call of Duty. You should expect to get spawn killed. Another map I played, I think it was called Sandy Warehouse. It was okay. Another one I played, which I'm absolutely certain is called European Warehouse. I liked it a lot because I did well in it, so that makes it a good map. I played a map in Headquarters. It was a sniper's paradise, so if you're a big fan of those trick-shotting douchebags, I'm sure you'll find them there. Ground War. Oh, Ground War. This one's great because the map is so large, players can get on rooftops, tall cliffs, towers, and the best part is, there's no bullet drop, so anyone with a sniper is Frederick Zola. Here's another artistic dramatization of what it's like to be one of the poor, sad bastards who are stuck spawning down below. Okay, that's one. Alright, got them both. Finally I can move out of this place. Jeez. Oh, there's another one. That shot came from the right. Oh, carefully. Carefully now. Okay, last guy. There you are. No, he just turned and I died instantly. There's no way. Okay. Ah, just shoot. Ah! Ah! No! Oh, come on! No! Where'd they even come from? No! Ow! No! Ow! Oh! Oh no! In other words, Ground War map design is poo-poo. Back to you, ACT guy.
Thanks a lot, Zanny. Truly an upstanding guy. And now on to our next topic. Now, Osmosis Jones once said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. While I love the verticality, variety of options, and more open style of map design, it also invokes camping, especially since kill streaks have returned. And with the mounting mechanic, there's going to be a lot of people upset with camping. But you know, that's the thing. Snipers need to be able to camp somewhere. Now, one thing I did notice is after I had some really good games, I started to get my teeth kicked in. And I've heard this complaint from several others. What is it called? Skill-based matchmaking. This will and can kill the experience for players. I started wondering, is it the weapon I'm using, attachments, the loadout, my controller, What is causing me to play like garbage? This video by Sour connected the dots perfectly. It all made sense. What is skill-based matchmaking? Basically, it's about putting players into groups based on their performance in multiplayer. Players who typically have lower stats will be matched against players of similar skill level. It sounds nice in theory, but when you think about it, this doesn't leave much incentive to get better, because you'll only be put against better players. Those matches I had where I had a negative KD, I was killed by some sweaty-ass AUG-using players. And that's the thing, if all my matches consisted of sweaty players, I'm gonna get turned off real quick. You need to have an assortment of all skill levels, otherwise you're just gonna get demoralized, and people who don't know the system is in place will assume it's because of something they are or aren't doing. It might also enforce a stale meta instead of players trying to experiment with creative builds. Think of skill-based matchmaking as just a ranked playlist, but it's not labeled as such. Again, this is a beta, and perhaps Infinity Ward is testing the strength of this system, collecting data and feedback. Maybe they will use a different system entirely when the full game launches. You want to know what's not old news, Axeman, is people complaining about spawning in a Call of Duty game.
What is there to say, Axeman? Spawning is something that everyone complains about with Call of Duty, but in my 20 or so matches with the game, I could count the number of bad spawns I had on 2 hands. Not 3, but 2.
Personally, I didn't get to play Ground War, so I can't speak for the spawning there, but I did notice I respawned in the same area multiple times in a row, and I guess that's just the price you pay for a better multiplayer experience. And that about covers it for my thoughts on Modern Warfare 2019 and this beta. Infinity Ward is certainly giving it their all, and I definitely respect their dedication to trying new things and making the game they want to make. I appreciate you coming on the show, Axeman.
Well, Axeman, thanks for having me on. It truly has been a pleasure to come on and give my thoughts about the Modern Warfare beta. And any of the other guests you had on were equally as awesome as well. And if anybody out there watching this broadcast would like to like their videos, watch them, and subscribe to their channels, their links can be found on screen as well as in the description below. Yes, thank you, 8 Thoughts, Zanny, I Hate Everything, and Yo Mama 117.
Thank you all for watching. That's all I've got for today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. This has been the Act Reporter signing out. Peace!